Hey everyone, I'm Johnny Rock, the creator of the all-analog vinyl LP titled For the Record, and I've got a special treat today. A little trip back into the vaults for some bonus content. This is going to focus on Maxwell Feinstein, who celebrates 36 years as a human and sometimes puppet the day this video is published. Max has been my best buddy and music collaborator since 2009, and on my album, Max was a contributor to half of its songs. In my world and many others, Max is a VIP. Around a decade ago, while we were making the album, I interviewed many of the participants for this channel's content, including artist spotlights. Max was the first person I interviewed and the first to have his own spotlight, but Max's video was released before everyone else had been interviewed. So unlike the format of future artist spotlights, I had not yet recorded what our other participants thought of Max. But I asked them, and they told me. This is what happened all those years ago when I prompted thoughts on Max Feinstein. Let's have some fun. Check it out. All right, thoughts on Max Feinstein.
That was not part of the script.
Thoughts on Max Feinstein. Your thoughts on Max Feinstein?
Well, first of all, everyone has thoughts on Max Feinstein, so that's a very good topic. The first thing that I think of when I think of Max Feinstein is the hair. You know, there's the hair, and there's the hair, and the hair that keeps on going. The second thing, and I said this in one of the interviews, is Max falls in love with the music that he does. I mean, he's got like a crazy love affair with his guitars and the music that he's coming up with. And just one musician looking at another one, I think that's awesome. And I think every musician should be in love with what they do the way that Max is. And you know what? If it takes a little craziness to be that way, go for it, Max.
He loves music. Like, he just loves music. He loves good music. He loves bad music. He just loves everything that has to do with music. Max is just never afraid to explore an idea. And I'm really happy that he was there to help us with the song. Because I have a feeling that the wrong person could have really have derailed that song. I feel like someone with a negative attitude or someone with a stubborn attitude like would have, could have been like, no, it has to be this way, or oh, this is hopeless, or whatever. Max like, whatever, I'll work with whatever you give me. I don't give a damn. I'll just do it. Whatever, just give me the guitar. I'll just play it. And that's Max. And I feel like that's why he's been a really good musical partner for you, because you're always up for anything. You're just like, hey, whatever. Yo, you got a song? Hey, I got drums. Let's do it. And that's Max.
Max Feinstein. That's the reaction I got from everybody when I asked about Max.
Yeah, Max is such a character. That's all I could really say. He's not like anybody else I've ever met, and that's a good thing.
Max is a very enigmatic form. He is very different and has a real ability to not hide any of that, to really express himself out there to everybody the ways that he wants to, and Max should be an inspiration to most people.
Thoughts on Max Feinstein?
Max Feinstein, well, an amazing musician, a great musician. Every time we have recorded, his input is always very good. He's probably, I haven't met too many musicians that know so much about gear and electronics and at the same time are good musicians. That's just like I was mentioning before. It's not easy to find somebody who has that combination. And he's probably one of the guys that has those two aspects that are so important, to make good music. He's a very talented musician, and I'm sure he's gonna be making history. Hopefully sooner than later.
Maxie. Wow, this is weird upside down, dude. So I'm gonna do something that I never do. I'm gonna play right-handed guitar. Look at that. How awkward does that look, man? Like, I can't even hold it. Like, who does this? And who does this? I met Max, I think also, same thing, Pyroclast at that show. And I really didn't get to chat with him much. And I think I saw him at a few other places later on. And he... it wasn't until I think I started listening to like some of the demos that he was working on for his record, for Round of Sound. And we got started talking shop and talking guitars and find out that we love the same guitar players and stuff like that. And like we probably couldn't be any more different from one another. But it's an awesome thing that music can connect you to someone like that. And I'm a big fan of his stuff. I tell him all the time. I think he doesn't believe me, but if I prepared better, I would have taken some banjo lessons and I would have played him like a Max song. But Max, you could use this on your next album.
Max, a fellow alien, an enthusiast, a gentleman, a scholar, a cartoon character, and most importantly, a dog. Monster musician. I feel confident I could throw him into any situation and he would just come out on top, literally. What else can I say about Feinstein and Rick Sennels? I love Max.
I spoke facetiously comparing Anthony to a Muppet before, and like, you know, Max is right there. He's the Muppet. He's just this like magical creature in my life who, like, you know, invites me to Fraggle Rock from time to time.
This is making me uncomfortable.
I can do the guitar harmonics like on Rehab. Intervention.
Ew, Max. Max Feinstein is both one of my greatest friends and greatest enemies, and I mean that in the highest form of compliment ever, because he and I have really pushed each other really hard, and I think it's been to both of our benefits, and I wouldn't trade that guy for anything. You know, when Pyroclast happened, I had been waiting forever for somebody to be sometimes the Dwayne to my Dickie and sometimes the Dickie to my Dwayne. And yeah, it sounds terrible. It does. But, you know, and nobody even got that, let alone could do it. And then Max and I talked for 5 minutes one day about guitar pedals, and I was like, wow, this guy is such a nerd. I like him. You know, he was like the only person who, like, I could say shit about, like, germanium transistors. And he was like, oh, yeah, totally, I get it. Yeah, mine has, like, 2 germanium diodes in it. You know, I got you. And then we jammed, and it was just... It happened. It was magic. And, guy reads my mind. I read his mind. I love playing guitar with him. He plays bass in all the bands I'm in right now, which is awesome, but it's a shame, because... We function really well as a guitar section.
Max, Max, Max. The Oscar to my Felix. The Ernie to my Bert. I said earlier, Max has been my best buddy since '09 and the longest running musical partner I've ever had. But before I go down memory lane, I need to acknowledge Max as an artist and a musician. I've had a front row seat to Max's songwriting and development since we've met. What started as a nod or two to some primary influences has grown into something unique both sonically and personally. Max has always been talented since we met, open-minded and adventurous, but as Max has opened up more about his struggles and channeled that into advocacy for the bleeding disorders community, his style has become revelatory and somehow even more ferocious. I'm proud of it and happy to keep contributing to it. So, memory lane. Well, we've been through a lot of firsts together. We worked on each other's first solo releases together, which led directly to my record, which still means the world to me. Max had some of the best, but also some of the hardest jobs on this album, and looking back, I admire that patience and willingness to go with the flow, even when I wasn't sure what I wanted. We founded our first proper studio in Hoboken in 2012, which we expanded over and over for almost 10 years. And it was Max who invited many of the amazing artists and friends from the community into our studio, and that's been a huge net positive in my life. We made some awesome music before and during the record, but I think our biggest achievements were yet to come, and it's been quite a ride. Max got me into a touring band for the first time, which brought me to places like Nashville and LA for the first time. I was the best man at Max's wedding. I've been involved in nearly all of Max's solo releases, and you could still see us perform live in his group, Blood and Sound. After we lost our studio space to a tragic fire in 2021, it was Max who made the move to find us a new space. And we did rebuild, triumphantly reopening in 2023. And since building that new studio, I've seen Max, the producer, unfold even more. Yet another maverick creative avenue. And yeah, our personalities and musical approaches can differ wildly, but I find that valuable. It keeps us both honest, and we're close enough to be that person you can bounce almost any idea off just to see if it's got legs. Like that one time in 2012 when I asked Max if he thought it would be cool if I piloted an all-analog solo album. And he said, paraphrasing, "Hell yes." Love you, buddy. Happy birthday, and I hope we all had a good time. Peace. Max.
I feel right, Johnny. I feel right. I feel so goddamn right. Viva la Mexico!